So, hello, and welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius, the manifesting visionary secret code name themed readings. All right, this is secret code name Crane Song. All right, secret code name Crane Song. For those of you unfamiliar with how these secret code names work, all right, they are purchased by individuals via my Etsy shop. All right. And once they purchase it, I let them know that I got them and that their secret code name is fill in the blank, right? And in this case, it's Crane Song. All right, this is their personal reading. All right, it's their personal reading. The beauty of these secret code name events is that you may resonate to one of the secret code names in divine time whenever it crosses your path, which means there's most likely a message in here for you. Okay, so for today, I'm using my Psychic Tarot of the Heart deck and my Wisdom of the Oracle cards to figure out what the actual vision is, right? What spins in the mind's eye. And then I'm using my own descriptor deck. These are all energetic descriptors, okay? It is a deck that I created. It is my deck, all right? It is not anywhere else. As of right now, although you know it may end up in my Etsy shop eventually. We'll see. I love this little deck. And that is to figure out where your actual energy is, okay? Where your actual energy is, so that we know what your vision is and we know what your energy is. And when we add those two things together, what you're visualizing and where your energy is, we get insight into what you're actually manifesting. And I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot to get some insights into that. And then I'm using my Universe Has Your Back deck as guidance at the end, okay? Also, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, be reminded I started a new page. All right, it is Energy 22 by Nicole Myths. It is on Facebook, and it is for the strict purpose of announcing new items and services in my shops, any flash sales that I'm offering, and the announcements of the different secret code name events, whether they're the moon events or the divine duality events. Okay, I didn't want those types of posts pushing down the other posts on my feed, on my main page, and vice versa, right? And vice versa. So I created their own separate space, right? So that everything that I create, offer, put out will have its own page, okay? On Facebook, you can find it with the @ symbol, Energy22. All right, same as my new Twitter account. All right, @ Energy22. So, with that said, let's get into it. Secret code name Crane Song. Here we go. Here we go. Spirit, please. What is the vision? What is the vision for secret code name Crane Song and those who would resonate to it in divine time? Okay. Clarities, please. Okay. And what is your energy? Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right, and what does that manifest? This vision plus that energy. clarities, please. Okay. And what is the guidance? Okay. So, secret code name Crane Song. And it's definitely like crane, like the bird, okay, not the machine. So you might want to look up crane animal spirit medicine, like Google it. Because it's definitely coming through as a guide for you. So, we've got, as far as the vision goes, the Tower, rebuild, clarified by why. Then we've got the Magician or the Manifest card, clarified by observer. And then we've got the Open Up card, which is the Four of Pentacles, clarified by the tribe. Okay. And for your energy descriptors, it's interesting. We got 4 shadows and 4 light attributes. We've got afraid, clarified by independent, okay? A fear of independence. We've got ungrateful or entitled, and the lack of being able to see your abundance, right? Because that came up in the reverse. We've got stubbornness and resistant to change, clarified by courageous, okay? And unreliable, clarified by sympathetically understanding, okay? Okay. So with that said, the vision, the energy, if you are constantly going through tower moments and you fear these tower moments, right, in your own mind's eye, that every time you build something where you can depend on other people, it might fall apart and you've got to heal and they stop giving and yada yada, and you're just like, why? You know, like, why did it fall apart? It's because you're afraid of independence. You might be codependent, right? You may be codependent. That's the reverse side of independence. So you might be afraid of your own independence instead of being self-secure, right? Which is the opposite side of afraid. You might be codependent, okay? Or deal with codependency issues. And that involves wanting to be needed. Wanting to be needed and acknowledging that you need somebody else, right? That you feel like you need them. The reason why it falls apart, as all codependent things do, is because you're learning independence. You're learning how to manifest, right? You want to manifest what you see. You want to manifest what you observe in other people. So when everything falls apart, you're like, well, how come everybody else has this? How come everybody else has that? Why don't I have it? And it's because, you know, I think what you really want and what you're not necessarily seeing is that what you're looking at that's successful, that you wish you had, they don't actually, like, let's just say we'll use the example of partnerships because that's easy, right? You have a codependent relationship with your partner, it ends up falling apart, and so you want a healthy, stable, long-term relationship like other people have, you know, and that you don't. And what you're failing to see is those healthy people don't need each other. They want each other. They don't need each other, but they want each other, and so they stay together because they want to, not because they need to. That's what creates the healthy long term, right? And I think maybe you just really need to open up to your soul family, people of the same likeness as you, right? Who offer what you offer that you wish your partner was offering, type thing. Because let's use the example of you have a different love language than someone else, right? Maybe your love language is consideration. Maybe your love language is emotional vulnerability, right? Being able to talk about what's on your mind, and communication skills, right? You are considerate of someone else. You're always, you know, acknowledging that this action might affect them in this way, and so therefore you'll take an action because, you know, it doesn't hurt them in any way. Like, your love language is consideration and honesty and maybe affection and things like that. And maybe your person's love language is creating stability and providing and being physically present for tasks, and, you know, that's their love language. That's how they show love, by being present, by showing up, and by providing stability, right? And you speak two different love languages, you and your person. And so you feel like you need them for the financial aspect and the providing, and you want to be needed for the affection and love language that you speak. And you're both not registering each other's love languages as love, and it's just codependent, right? It's just codependent. Where you feel like you need each other because you lack what the other provides. When really, if you want your person whose love language is stability and financial, and in regard, if you want them to speak your love language, like, maybe you just need to find somebody who speaks your love language the same way you do. Someone who's emotionally real and vulnerable and considerate of you, instead of trying to get it from someone else, then that's not their native love language, right? Because that might make you ungrateful. You might come off ungrateful to your person because it's like, all that I provide, all that I give, like, this is my love, this is their love language, this is all that I do. They're not grateful. They want this and they want that for me, and that's not who I am. Like, this is how I love. And so therefore you're not seeing the abundance, right? You're not seeing the abundance of love that you're getting from whoever it is, because they're speaking a love language you are not registering as love. Okay? And stubbornness and resistant to change. You might not be willing to learn their love language. You might not be willing to learn their love language. You're just very confident in your own and have no problem, you know, being courageous and voicing that. And maybe your partners have equally said the same thing. You know, well, maybe you should be more of this and you should be more of that. Like, you try doing what I do, and that's not your forte. You know what I mean? Which is where you might butt heads. And that's where you end up rebuilding, right? That might be where you end up rebuilding and saying, well, why does this happen, right? And it's because you're unreliable in sympathetically understanding someone else's love language. You're unreliable there. They can't rely on you to sympathetically put yourself in their shoes, see things from their eyes, their perspective, their mind, right? And what they do in their day, and what they go through to provide for you, you know what I mean, and do for you and love you the way they love you, right? And it can be reversed. Take it how it resonates, right? Take it how it resonates. Just use the example. So I think there's a communication breakdown. When it comes to love language. Okay. And so it's like, I do feel that you go through, mentally, you go through these towers, right, in your mind. You start to question why do things fall apart? You want to manifest what other people manifest, and so you open up to your soul tribe and voice these things, right? You fall back into people who understand you and speak your love language, and it feels good, but then you know, go back into this cycle when really maybe you just need to stick with people who know your love language, right? If you're not willing to learn someone else's love language and appreciate their love language, then you need to find people who speak your language, right? So that thought process, right, in the mind, this vision of it always falls apart, and, you know, I just want to create what everybody else has, and, you know, opening up to your soul tribe or whatever, like the people who understand you and speak your language, right? And you know, you have healthy communication skills with them. You might not have healthy communication skills with the people you're in dynamics with. So what it manifests is the sun clarified by the high priestess, and the Eight of Wands clarified by Temperance. So you find another light. You find another light in your life. You know it. You sense it. They're a beautiful light. And Spirit's pinging you to alchemize. It's pinging you to alchemize. It's pinging you to be patient, right? It is pinging you to recognize that you can de-thaw and possibly be less stubborn, right? And manifest this cycle all over again. You find somebody who is willing to speak a love language with you, and it's not your love language, and it happens over and over. When you're just meant to simply recognize their love language for what it is, and their forte is not your forte, and vice versa, and you're not with each other because you need each other. They don't need you. They don't need you. They're with you because they want to be with you, right? So just, it's a matter of making that switch in your own mind, you know what I mean? From being codependent to being independent with your person. Your person's not stopping you from being who you are. You don't need to sacrifice yourself for them because your love language is consideration and self-sacrifice for them, right? For their happiness. And you might not even realize they're sacrificing what they really want to do in their life to provide the necessary means to create the life that they want with you. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of seeing it differently. Recognizing that you're both speaking love languages, because I feel like this repeats. You end up manifesting a beautiful light in your life. A very strong masculine energy who does for you. Who wants to be with you. They know that they don't need you. They don't need anybody. They want to be with you. And to be fair, you don't need them. You've done just fine without the previous people you've let go of, right? You always rebound. You're always okay. Like, you don't need your person, but you're with them because you want to be. You want to show them gratitude and consideration and make their life easier for all that they do for you. You know what I mean? Providing what is not your forte. What you don't necessarily want to do, right? And they do it. Understand, your vibes speak louder than your words, right? Your vibes speak louder than your words. If your energy is grateful, it's going to come through in your actions. If your energy is ungrateful, it's not going to come through in your actions. It's not going to come through in your words. If you're not grateful, you're not going to thank anybody for what they're doing. Like, thank you for going to your crazy fucking stressful job because it gives us our life. And I appreciate you for that because I could never do what you do. And I love you. You know? My vibes speak louder than my words. Okay? Let your vibe speak everything. Because I do feel like this is a codependent mindset that just simply needs to shift into a very grateful, I'm an independent soul, you're an independent soul, and we're together because we want to be, not because we need to be. I think that's just a simple switch. Okay? That's a simple switch. You can be more self-secure, you can be more grateful, you can be more flowing, right? And more reliable to your partner, right? More reliable to your partner. So, drop a like if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up button, give me a like. It supports me and the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know how it resonated with you, especially if this was a secret code name you were drawn to, right, in Divine Time. And let me know how it resonated. All right, secret code name, Crane Song. Know that my love and support is with you always, and I will see you next time. Take care.